Pam DuBois coming to you today. And I'm so grateful to have with me our special honor to have this special person. Can't wait to hear his story. Jaikishaan Sharma from Melbourne, Australia. And he's going to share with us his amazing, miraculous story. And then we're going to share his information with you. Jackie, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so grateful to have you. Oh my gosh, what a story. First, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you asking me to come here and, talk about my journey, my story, because I think as a human, the only thing we have is the life we are living every single moment, the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about the present moment you go through and the memories you collect while you go through this beautiful life. So yes, this is Jackie from Melbourne, Australia, and I am a father, I am a husband, I am a son, I am a brother, and now I am a successful online entrepreneur.
Yeah,
where I coach people with online business and mindset coaching. And it's been a wonderful ride from last 3.5 years since I started exploring the online space. And when I started, it was totally new and was a new adventure for me. But I have come long way in last 3.5 years, achieved a lot of things financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us. And mindset is so huge right now, right? There's so much going on in our world right now. And if we're not in the right mindset, it's so easy to just get caught up in all of it. Right. But I know you have a miraculous story coming out of something that you want to share. Would you like to share with us?
Of course, definitely. So I have to go back to 2015, and I was into the corporate world for like almost nine years. I come from India. I came to Australia 17 years ago because my father wanted me to go, abroad and do studies and all. And then I came to Australia. I did my studies. I got into the corporate world, good job, and fantastic opportunity. And then 2010, I got married. And then, when you get married, you are looking for the adventure in the life, kids, house, you start planning your life, So before that, I was not planning anything. I was just living by, as an adult, as in 20-year-old, what you do, you make money, you spend, you go out with friends. And that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
But when I got married, I got serious. Then me and my wife bought our first house where I'm living right now in February 2015. Mm-hmm. And then same time when we were looking for our house, my wife was expecting our first child. Mm-hmm. So we were excited, we were like pumped. We were like, new house, the baby is coming, the life is gonna be great. And we moved into the house in February 2015. My wife left the job because she was taking care of herself. I was working. Then in August 2015, we've been blessed with the baby girl, So we were excited. We were, like everything was so amazing and beautiful. Because that moment when you become parent and you realize how your parents might have felt when you came to this world, So that experience was amazing. And then 2 months later, in October, 11th of October, I walked into my office and I was being asked to go home after 9 years. They finally told me that, Jackie, we don't need you anymore, And I was okay. I was like, I got enough experience. I can go into the workforce again. So I called my friend on the same day after coming back home. I was like, hey, I lost my job and I want something, because we are heading into Christmas and now I got responsibility, the new house, the wife is not working, the baby is here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so my friend was like, don't worry, come down to my office tomorrow morning and we'll do something, I have a part-time position available. If you are interested, we can hook you in.
Yeah.
So I was on my way on the 12th of October, 2015, in the morning, and I just got in the city and I made into a car accident, and I woke up in the hospital. And when I woke up, I was not able to feel anything below my tummy. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I looked at my wife standing in front of me with a 2-month-old baby girl in the arms. And the doctors were, around me and they were talking. And I was like, what's going on? And then I saw my wife crying and the doctors came to me and said that we need to take you for the surgery because there is a severe injury in the spine. And because of that injury, there is no sensation and signals going down,
Yeah.
and you've been paralyzed below your tummy. And that day for me was like the 9/11 World Trade Center we saw falling down.
Yeah.
On the television. I saw my life falling down that day in front of my eyes. I was like, I was so excited, and now in last 48 hours, I have lost my job.
Everything.
And now I am sitting here and these guys are telling me that I have no sensation and movements.
Yeah.
And then they took me for the surgery, and it lasted for like 10-11 hours.
Wow.
And then I came out and they said that, Jackie, we did our best, but we don't think that there is a chance of you walking back again, because the nerves has been damaged severely.
Yeah.
And I was in tears. My wife was in tears, and that emotion, I was like, and when you go through those kind of setbacks,
yeah,
in the 21st century, when you have these kind of setbacks, and when you are a migrant in a different country, the financial stress kills you.
Yeah.
That is the biggest reason of people going into depression and fear mode is because they are worried about the finance more than their physical ability. And that's exactly what started happening with me. I spent like 8 months in the hospital, 4 months in the intensive care, and then 4 months in the rehab. And when in the rehab, they didn't see any improvement. They asked me to go home, and they gave me a new ride, my wheelchair. I came home. And when I came home, I got more isolated, because when I was in the hospital, I saw there are nurses coming to you, talking to you. But now when I'm home, I didn't wanted to share what I was going through with my wife, and she didn't wanted to share anything with me, because we didn't wanted both of us go into the depression more than what we are already in, So because of that communication, we decided not to talk to each other and not to share it with each other. That started building a lot of emotion within us, And because I was sitting on the wheelchair and I had a lot of pressure, I took some bad decisions. And in 2016, I attempted suicide 3 times,
Oh my goodness.
I was sitting on the wheelchair. I used to punch the walls, blame myself why I didn't plan for something, like why didn't I plan something concrete on the side, which might have helped me in the rainy days, and then I started blaming myself. Why did I spend all my money when I was not married? I would have saved some money at that time. I was making good money. So I was going through, and then when you start self-sabotaging, that becomes hard for you to come out from that rabbit hole.
Wow. How did you come out of that rabbit hole?
There is always a way out.
Yeah,
let me tell you,
there's
there is always a
yeah.
way out. And that's what I have learned, and that's what I share to everyone when I talk to them. Any kind of trauma, any kind of abuse, any kind of disability, any kind of mental obstacles you go through, you can find a way out. And my way out came in 2016 November. I was sitting on my wheelchair. My daughter was already 9 months old. She was playing with her toys, and I looked at her, she looked at me, and that moment freeze. That moment stopped. It was like the time has stopped, nothing is moving, and I got two options in front of me.
Right.
And those two options were either I should accept the things as they are and live my life, or I should do something about it and live by design,
right?
Not by default. And from there I said, Jackie, let's change that 5% chance you might have right now into 500%, and turn the life into a 360-degree angle and see what it gives you. And from that day, I started reading books. I started connecting with people, those who have gone through this physical trauma, how they have come back. Because if you go look for positivity, you can find millions of more reasons to be positive. And that's exactly what I did. And I started looking, I started reading a lot of stuff. I started reading a lot of ebooks because I didn't have money to buy any books. Because my mom was sending me money from India to pay for my mortgage. My wife started doing some cloth alterations from home to pay for the bills, because I was only getting $700 from the government to survive. But my mortgage itself was 2,200 Australian dollars. So I started working on that part of learning more about others, so I can put that into my practice and bring some changes. Then I started doing a lot of meditation, mindfulness practice, because we always talk about mindfulness practice in a formal way, but I wanted to do something which I can do in an informal way, So I wanted to be in a mindful space when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm taking my shower, when I'm talking to someone, Because mostly people focus on the formal way, which is, focusing on your breathing, focusing on your environment. But I was doing that, but it was not working. And when I started going into that informal mindfulness practice, I realized that now I have changed my expectations into appreciations, and then I realized that everything happens to us is the result of the things we are connected with.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then I started writing down a lot of stuff, my limiting beliefs and all, and then I realized that birds do not fly, they ride the wind, and fish do not swim, they are carried, because they both believe in the energy of universe. They believe in the energy of divine, because that's the reason they do not worry about falling down from the sky. They are not worried about not carried away by the water. They are just going with the flow. And that's I started doing. And when I got into that mode of appreciation and working on myself, the day came,
Everything shifted, right? Everything shifted.
2019, just start of the 2019, I saw my toes started moving, little bit of movements in my toes. And then we went to the doctors, and doctors put me onto some, those hydro exercises, water exercises. And from there, I started seeing this little sensation coming back. And then 3 months, 4 months later, in 2019, I took my first step out of the wheelchair.
Yay! Wow.
So yeah, so
Excited. I was going to ask real quick, sorry. Were you doing a lot of self-talk?
Yes. Obviously, affirmations is the best way to, tap into your subconscious mind and see. Everything comes down to the self-talk. I, as Tony Robbins says, change your story, change your life.
Right.
So if you really want to believe in all those negative things you are telling yourself so far, then that's how you're gonna live your life.
Yeah.
But if you are telling yourself that you are amazing, you own the future, you are the voice, and you are amazing, then that's how you're gonna live your life.
Right. Absolutely. Positive self-talk is so important. Were you studying Tony Robbins as you were going through that? You're doing your mindfulness?
Yes, I was, as I said, when I started looking for people, I found Tony, I found Jai Shetty, I found Robin Sharma. I read books like Tony Robbins' book. I read The Awaken the Giant Within, I read the book. And I also, and the funny part is, see, this is what happens when you work towards the greatness and when you are into the right space, the universe starts rewarding you. When I got out of the wheelchair and when I started walking in the house, my first goal was to make the 2,200 Australian dollar to pay for my mortgage.
Right.
And that's how I got into the online space. And when I started making little bit of money, the first thing I did was like, I called the local event organizers, those who do Tony Robbins events in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I found out they are the those who do it everywhere in the world. They call it Success Resource.
Yeah.
And I met a lady there, and I would like to give her a credit because she's the reason why I'm here, on the Forbes. So I just randomly called. I saw the Tony coming in 2020 in Australia for the event. So I called, and when I asked her that, hey, I want to be a part of this event, what is the cost for the ticket and all? The first question she asked me that, why you want to come to Tony, event? And then obviously I had a bigger reason. And then I told her. And she got blown away and she's like, Jackie, let me call you back. And then she called me back and she's like, we want to interview you on our Facebook page for Success Resource. And at the same time, we want to offer you a free ticket to come on an event for Tony Robbins. I was like, what?
Wow.
And she's like, yes, we want to do that because, this is what impact Tony is making and this should come out. And then I was like, okay, fine. That's why I'm really, glad to call you today. And I got this opportunity, but I never got a chance because of the pandemic. The event went on to virtual. So I was in the virtual event, but again, I was in virtual event. I got a chance to share my story in a Zoom out room. You do those small rooms, where Tony put you into the group and you do a lot of sessions. Breakout rooms. Yes, correct. So I was into that. I shared my story. The lady who was listening to my story there, it reached out to someone else. Then it reached out to someone else. And then it reached out to these guys. And that's how I met John Lee. And then through there, I went into Jai Shetty's book launch team. I was a part of Jai Shetty's book launch team, Think Like a Monk, September 2020, So it all started coming, one after another. And then I was like, my God, and I think there was a reason why I was being put on the wheelchair. And the reason was to find my purpose.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
And through that purpose, God or the divine or the universe wanted me to have a purposeful impact around the world. through whatever I have learned and through
Yeah.
whatever I have lived, you know.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. How many lives are you, impacting right now? That's so awesome. Tell us about the Forbes magazine behind you.
Yeah. So in 2020, as I said, that they reached out to me in 2020 December.
That's when it was done. Okay.
Yeah. So the funny part is that when they reached out to me, I thought it's just, you get a lot of messages on internet that, hey, we'll publish you in this magazine, we'll do that. I thought it's a scam. It's kind of money making something, So I pushed that lady, I was like, no, I'm not interested, I don't know,
Yeah.
And then she found my number from Success Resource and she reached out to me and she's like, I've been sending you emails and you've been not responding, and this is Rhonda, and this is, we got your details and we want to do this for you. And I heard your story. It's really amazing and it should go out. And trust me, you will do wonders. I was like, who? And the first thing, came to my mind was that skeptical mind that who's going to listen to me? Who's going to care about my story? There are thousands and millions of people out there, those who have gone through worse than me,
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, okay, fine. What do you want me to do? She told me that we just have to go on to the Zoom and we'll ask you a few questions. We'll get to know more about your story, and then we'll see if we can, get you into the right place, because we get a lot of stories like you and we would like to inspire people out there in the world,
Yeah.
And then December we did the interview, and then February 2021 I was on the magazine, and so that's how it happened. And from there, I don't know. See, that's what happens, because when you start coming out as an person who wants to inspire and impact, instead of any expectations you have from others, I think you get more from life, and that's exactly started happening. After this story, they called me back again to be a part of a group interview with Elon Musk. Then they called me back again with Jim Carrey, Jordan Belfort, Neil Patel.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, then I got excited. I was like, that's amazing. I never imagined that, going from not walking to walking, not having money in the bank account, to making a 6-figure income in last 3.5 years. And at the same time, you get opportunity to help others to come out of that obstacles they are going through, which you have gone through in your life.
Right. Help as many people as you can to get what they want, and in turn, you get what you want, right? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, I am so grateful that you're here with us today. What an amazing story. God's story. God is good. I am so, incredibly grateful to have you. And mindset is so important, you guys. I mean, whether it's positive or negative, it's there. So the stories that we're telling ourselves on a daily basis is so important. Catching those negative thoughts when they come to your mind and turning them immediately as soon as you can, so it doesn't register in here, into something positive, right? And we can be the better version of ourselves, and what our purpose called to be our purpose. We are here for a purpose. We are definitely all here for a purpose, right? And so you stepped into that space. Yeah, you're amazing. You're incredible. We are so grateful. And did you meet John Lee in person?
Yes, I was with him for like 4 days in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So he was here for the social media boot camp.
Oh, just recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think just 2 weeks ago. So
okay.
Yeah. So I was part of that, and then I get to also had a one-on-one meeting with him on Monday before he was flying back to Malaysia.
Yeah.
We had a lunch, and it was great. It was amazing. It's amazing because I have learned a lot from him, from Tony, from Jay Shetty, which has helped me in my life to come out from my adversity, and because of that, I have achieved a lot. So you need to give the credit where it's been, due. So
yeah.
So when I got to know that he's coming, I'm passionate about perfumes. I have started my own label here in Australia. We make organic oils, perfumes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I sat down day before meeting him, made him some custom perfumes, and I gave it to him as my appreciation for doing everything what he's doing. So yeah, so it was great.
Yeah, he's a great guy. John is so giving. I've learned so much from him. I'm always in his club on Clubhouse because he's given us so much information. I'm part of his JL.club, and he's just got a great big heart. He really does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about him, that he is not worried about, like most of the entrepreneurs now you see is worried about the end game, that I want to make sales, I want to get clients, I want to, close this deal. But they are not focusing on giving out the value, and that's all it comes down to. If you look, John, he's not asking you to do anything without giving you anything.
Right.
So yeah, with him is like you give value as much as you can,
and he does.
And then the God and the universe will reward you, and that reward can come as a client, that reward can come as a venture, that reward can come as a collaboration, anything, but it will come. And that's what I am doing. My focus is putting out as much as knowledge I can share with others to improve their life. And if I'm being rewarded by this, by money, by success, I'm happy with that,
Right. Right. That's amazing. Gosh, thank you so much for being with us. Share your website with us. Share any personal information that you want to have out there online so the whole world can see you.
Yeah, sure, of course. So you can reach out to me on Instagram, the best place. It's Jaikishaan Sharma. You can see my name at the bottom. And the website you can reach out to me is DreamChairClub.com. So when I started walking, I gave a name to my story, because you have to, because that's how you recognize your journey. So the name I gave to my journey was Wheelchair to a Dream Chair. So that's how my coaching business is called, DreamChairClub.com. So yeah, and if you can just type my name on Google, you will find everything about me. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes, you're everywhere. We're so grateful. We're so grateful. Everyone, reach out to him. He's an amazing coach, and just going back and listening to his experience and his success story and his purpose, that he's fulfilling his purpose in helping people now. Jackie, thank you so much for being with us again. I'm so grateful. And everyone stay safe, be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.